Welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we're diving into something totally wild. It's this fascinating, kind of crazy intersection between internet mysteries, literal cosmic horror, and the absolute bleeding edge of theoretical physics. I mean, it's a journey that actually starts with cute cats, of all things, and somehow ends up questioning the very fabric of our universe. We're going to look at how a genuinely terrifying digital mystery acted as this perfect Trojan horse, leading us right to the doorstep of a massive, real-world scientific debate regarding black holes and what some physicists are calling the illusion of the singularity.
So to set the stage, we've got to start with this incredibly cryptic question. Where are we? Back in March 2026, this totally innocent-looking YouTube channel called CuteCats42 popped up. But internet sleuths, you know how they are, they very quickly realized this wasn't about felines at all, not even close. It was actually an alternate reality game, or ARG, named the Aleph Kafka ecosystem. What looked like your standard run-of-the-mill video quickly devolved into a truly terrifying digital mystery, pulling players deep into this labyrinth of hidden websites, weirdly encoded messages, and incredibly unsettling audio.
All right, so to actually solve it, players had to navigate what became known as the Aleph Kafka protocol. They found a hidden site, entered the passcode 42, which obviously is a great little nod to the ultimate answer from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and that unlocked a page featuring a black hole. Clicking that black hole exactly 42 times brought them to this stark gray screen asking that same simple, chilling question: where are we? The answer, derived from the logic of a black hole center, was singularity. And typing that incorrectly, well, it plunged players even deeper into the whole cosmic horror narrative of the game.
But you know, what exactly is that answer? What actually is a singularity? By definition, it's a point in space of infinite density where the known laws of physics just break down entirely. They cease to exist. Pop culture and ARGs like Aleph Kafka absolutely love to treat the singularity as this realm of pure madness and broken reality. It's constantly compared to fictional cosmic entities like the King in Yellow from the Cthulhu mythos, right? A force that literally induces madness if you even try to comprehend it. In the game, typing singularity acknowledges that total breakdown of physics. But here's where we leave the internet fiction behind, because in the real world, the actual physics of singularities is fiercely debated. Because when it comes to the singularity, the real horror might actually be how the scientific community has treated black holes for the last few decades. Just listen to this explosive quote from astrophysics legend Roy Kerr, the actual guy who mathematically solved the rotating black hole way back in 1963. In a recent paper, he states, "Why do so many believe that the star inside must become singular at this moment? Faith, not science. 60 years without a proof, but they believe? I mean, wow." Kerr is pulling absolutely no punches here. He's revealing this massive fundamental rift in modern theoretical physics.
Section 1. The Mathematical Illusion.
So for like 60 years now, there's been this strict orthodoxy established by absolute giants of physics, namely Roger Penrose and Stephen Hawking. It's dominated the field. The Penrose-Hawking model relies heavily on pure topological logic. Basically, they argued that trapped surfaces inside a black hole inevitably lead to light rays of finite length, which they then asserted must end in actual points, or singularities. But Kerr's critique completely flips this on its head by demanding physical reality. He's saying, hey, just because light is trapped, that doesn't automatically mean it compresses into a physical point of infinity.
Section 2. Roy Kerr's bold challenge.
So late in 2023, at 89 years old by the way, Kerr publishes a paper directly challenging that whole Nobel-winning consensus. And his arguments are incredibly sharp. First off, he points out there is zero actual proof singularities exist in real physical bodies. Second, he argues Penrose simply decreed it to be self-evident when they couldn't actually prove it. Third, Kerr's own metrics provide mathematical counterexamples, like radio light rays that just die out asymptotically without ever hitting a singular point. But his absolute biggest, most crucial point is that we need actual physics here, not just math. He's frustrated because modern physics has essentially mistaken mathematical artifacts, like, what happens when you divide by zero, for physical reality.
Section 3. The speed of light.
Now, to really get why Kerr is so dead set on demanding physical proof, we have to look at what happens when pure mathematical theory just slams right into the physical limits of light. And this is a concept that traces straight back to Albert Einstein.
Back in 1907, Einstein stated that light curves in a gravitational field specifically because its speed varies. In 1920, he explicitly confirmed that the law of the constancy of the speed of light no longer holds in spaces with gravitational fields, and by 1939, he concluded that reaching a singular sphere would literally take an infinite amount coordinate time. So, the idea that the speed of light varies depending on gravitational potential, that isn't some fringe, out-there theory. It was absolutely foundational to Einstein's whole thought process.
And the best part? We don't just have to take Einstein's word for it anymore. We have modern physical evidence. Highly precise NIST optical clocks completely prove that the speed of light is spatially variable in a gravitational field. It's wild. When you lift one of these atomic clocks just a single foot higher in elevation, it actually runs faster than a linked clock down below it. The physical processes, which are governed by electromagnetism and the speed of light, literally slow down as gravitational potential increases. The stronger the gravity, the slower light moves vertically. It's a real, measurable phenomenon.
Section 4. Frozen stars, not singularities. Okay, so if we completely strip away all that sci-fi magic and the pure mathematical topology, what is a black hole in reality? Well, we have to rethink the event horizon. It's not this magical portal of no return. Physically speaking, the event horizon is simply the boundary where the coordinate speed of light drops to absolute zero. Because gravity slows light down, and obviously light can't go slower than stopped, the event horizon is literally just the limit where light stops moving entirely.
So, here's the frozen star reality, step by step. Intense gravity reduces the coordinate speed of light, right? Until it hits absolute zero perfectly at the event horizon. And here is the kicker. Space-time curvature effectively ends right there, because, again, you cannot have a speed lower than zero. Without a gravitational field actively pulling things inward past that horizon, an object could never actually collapse into a point singularity. This means black holes are effectively frozen stars. They're these massively dense concentrations of energy where time and light just stand still at the boundary. There's no magical portal, and there's definitely no point of infinite madness hiding inside.
Section 5. Separating truth from fiction.
You know, we've gone all the way from a creepy internet ARG to the actual, literal mechanics of light and gravity, but I think this brilliantly illustrates a trap we fall into all the time. Take the fictional detective Erica from that visual novel Umineko, for example. She treats this complex, life and death mystery purely as a cold, intellectual logic puzzle, completely ignoring the human heart and the actual messy reality of the situation. Well, Kerr's arguing that modern physics is doing the exact same thing. They're treating black holes purely as mathematical logic puzzles, like topologies drawn on a chalkboard, while totally ignoring the actual physical properties of light and gravity in the real world. Both of these approaches fail because they divorce their internal logic from reality.
All right, let's just do a quick rundown of our main takeaways from this explainer. The internet, obviously, through games like Aleph Kafka, loves to treat black holes as these spooky, cosmic horror mysteries. And for decades, the physics community has treated them as pure mathematical topologies, which led directly to the assumption that singularities must exist. But Roy Kerr is ringing the alarm bell right now. He's reminding us that these are real, physical objects bound by the physical limits of light. Ultimately, when our math gives us infinities, it usually doesn't mean reality itself is broken. It just means our mathematical model is. We simply can't treat the physical universe like it's an abstract puzzle game.
So I really want to leave you with this final kind of provocative thought. Whether we're trying to solve a spooky internet ARG, or we're literally trying to map out the supermassive center of a galaxy, we have to ask ourselves, are we looking at the universe through the lens of physical reality or just mathematical convenience? It's a question that challenges not just how we see black holes, but really the nature of science itself. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and definitely keep questioning what you think you know.